guys, Bowie here, and this is Things I've Learned with Liquid Miracle's Anti-Mage. We are back with your favorite series. I know it took some time, but here we are with what in my opinion is one of the low-key OP heroes of this patch. Remember to like and subscribe only after watching and commenting, or you will have Jungle Legion in your games. This replay is actually from 719B or A, but since the hero got no changes from the last patch, I don't think it matters much. In fact, the reason I'm making this video is that AM is low-key pretty good right now. The high MMR win rate is pretty decent, and if you think about it, the cores that are popular right now all get countered by AM. Weaver, she can not get to you when you easily take the bugs out. Zeus, it's not even funny. Necrophos, after the nerfs to Ghost Shroud, you pretty much explode the hero with one ult. Bloodseeker counters AM, right Bowie? Only until level 15, my friend, and we will talk about it. AM's Blink has 1200 range, I know it's a little bit less, but bear with me. And the Bloodseeker ult deals damage if you move less than 1300 units. This is why when you TP away, you don't take damage from the Bloodseeker ult even though you moved. With the extra range on your Blink, you can move Wall Rupture, no problem. Anyways, let's get down to the lane. AM fell out of flavor since he is not a great laner. That being said, Spectre is not a great laner and everyone was playing it. With the spec nerfs and also AM being good versus spec and against a lot of other heroes that are popular now, there's just a ton of games where the hero is viable as a last pick, even if you suffer through the laning stage. Let's watch how Miracle played here. The first thing we can notice is the sheer amount of tangos he has. His lane is most likely the Wraith King plus Necro lane, which means that there's not a lot of burst there. You get 330 regen out of a tango for 90 gold, whereas a salve gives you 400 for 110, meaning you get slightly more regen in total using tangos. Considering he also has the Warlock, going full tangos is an efficient and okay idea, but if you have no regen coming from your supports, 9 tangos and 1 salve might be a more rounded and better idea. Nowadays, it's very rare to see a lane as an AM where mana burn is the best option level 1. In this clip here, we can see Miracle actually attaching a rune thanks to the blink, and then he can just TP back to the tower. You can see that he also buys the magic stick as soon as the lane starts. AM really needs Quelling Blade against dual lanes, but he's against a lane of spammers, and the stick is actually quite nice. Although AM doesn't have a skill to secure range creeps, after you get mana break, you will probably have the highest amount of damage on a range creep in your lane, meaning you're going to secure it unless the enemy stuns you like they do here. Even then, you can see Miracle making sure to drain your mana so that it stops. Having a lot of regen actually allows you to hit them and take some damage without actually needing to leave your lane. It's usually hard to trade as an AM in dual lanes because you have no stuns or slows, but when the Wraith King goes to contest the Warlock pool, look how Miracle changes his posture and just runs at the Necrophos. He has better move speed, better armor, better BAT. Not only Miracle has a lot of regen to withstand the lane, most of Dire's damage is mana based, so his trading is actually pretty good and valuable here. The insane amount of regen that Miracle picked might seem overkill, but in this meta of the offlaner being an actual core, you don't have the courier priority like you used to have, which means that if you actually wait to buy regen later, you're probably going to be waiting for like a minute and just lose a lot of CS or risk yourself and end up dying. Also, a lot of you winning your lane or at least being allowed to farm is you walking up to the enemies and right clicking them to take their mana. If you don't have regen, you will trade, but then you just hide because you're low HP. At this stage, you can see how AM as a hero trades super well. It's not only about draining mana, although a big part of it is. Wraith King is forced to eat a mango to stun him, but thanks to the insane amount of regen and also Necrophos being out of mana, they cannot fight this anymore. AM's BAT and armor are way superior. We can see that even after the Ekla nerfs, the item is still highly regarded mainly because there's no other item at this price point to go for on a hero like Anti-Mage. The interesting thing to note is Miracle's build. In lanes where you feel pressured, you see AM's maxing Blink, but in this particular lane, that's not the case. In fact, the only way he dies in this lane is not with his Blink on cooldown, but when Dire has Reaper Sight. So getting 1 extra point in mana burn allows him to constantly control the Necrophos mana levels. What's even cooler is that he waits his Ekla before going for the Blink, increasing his trading power, ultimately forcing the Necro out of the lane. Actually nice fissure out of the game. The reason going for Ekla is good is that you actually increase your damage in the lane tenfold. Thanks to the item, Miracle feels very comfortable going for plays like this one. and also this one, which not only gives him gold towards the battlefield, but makes the enemies less inclined to go back to that lane, which is definitely what you want. Without the Aquila, you're so much weaker. The intermediary items make sure you can boo people out of your lane, survive ganks, and also farm faster. Getting a Battle Fury 2 minutes earlier might work in one game where the enemy was incompetent in shutting you down, but you're still super weak with that Battle Fury, and a lot of the times you're not even going to get the Battle Fury super early because you're gonna be super weak and you're gonna die a lot of times. Look how he can just jump the Necrophos here with treads, and he just keeps on making everyone more afraid of him. Seconds after that, you can see Miracle with less than half HP. In a game where you just want to get your Battle Fury as fast as possible, a weaker player might have just go back to the lane, or just bought more regen, or just jungled. Since he got all that regen and never had to leave the lane, not only he has the level advantage to go on the Wraith King here since he has no ult, he also has the items to kill him quite fast without actually worrying for his life. As you can see, Miracle never jungled to this point, not only because jungling is underwhelming and he was not strong enough, but because in the position Miracle is, he gets more out of the game by staying in lane. Eventually, Dire rotates in full force to that lane. Not only AA Blast and Reaper side gets committed, they also rotate Bloodseeker, and then Miracle finally dies. Yes, he died, but this rotation was not cheap for the Dire, and this is Miracle's call to finally rotate. By TPing to this shrine, Dire doesn't know exactly where he is, and he's as far away as possible from the rotation Dire made. Also note that he buys more tangles. This is not always necessary, but against a Bloodseeker, you want to make sure that you're not in unhealthy HP levels ever. The enemy heroes end up going back to their lanes, and as that happens, Miracle farms his way towards the bottom lane again. This is when he starts showing the lane and jungling at the same time, and as I already talked about, this is a free Anti-Mage game as long as he gets to level 15. All he cares about is the Bloodseeker, because pretty much no one else here has the kill potential to solo kill him. He starts going ham on the Necrophos because Bloodseeker was showing top, and later on, he has vision of Bloodseeker here, which gives him confidence to posture for the bounty runes. In fact, as he goes for it, note how he checks the Necro's mana and sees that it's quite low. Inferior players would maybe stay close to the Shaker, and if they spot a Necro, they will jump regardless of the mana, since they didn't even check. Here, not only Miracle knows that he can kill Necrophos, he kills the blink before he even sees the Necrophos coming, so that in case he does show up, he has an extra bit of damage and surprise factor. He doesn't show, but you can see how not only Miracle gathers as much knowledge as possible, he also tries to set up the plays before they even happen. Miracle finishes his Battle Fury, note that he preemptively guessed the recipe so he doesn't waste 30 seconds waiting for it, and the farming begins. Bloodseeker was not showing, so Miracle doesn't want to be seen in a lane. And when he does show, Miracle starts farming away from him. This is the first time he steps foot in lane after a while. Understanding who you're afraid of and playing around it is a very important skill to have. In terms of skill build, Miracle got the attack speed talent level 10, but he learned all points in spell tune. Even though Bloodseeker is the only hero that has skill potential on him, we saw how a big Dire rotation can in fact take Miracle down. Since he didn't get the extra strength, maxing the spell shield, especially considering how much of Dire's damage is actually magical, really allows him to farm with less fear. It's not like he's hunting any hero, so the mana burn is not that important, and the extra farming power from mana break after you already have Battle Fury is also negligible. It's interesting to note how Miracle keeps using this mid area to farm. Not only there's no tier 1 mid, which makes this area quite safe, it's close to both Ancients, which means he can farm at an absurd rate. As he farms his Ancient camp, he sees Bloodseeker showing bottom again, which means he can clear this mid wave, and the pattern continues. Pay attention though, after the Ancients he goes down, but he doesn't clear this large camp. Like Weaver, Anti-Mage is quite decent this patch because he has the mobility to easily collect bounty runes, and the overall gold influx from the top bounties is way bigger than whatever awaits Miracle in that large camp, so nicely done. At this stage, Bloodseeker just died, and yet Miracle walks forward into a lane that has a tower nearby. The thing is, after level 15, AM doesn't care about Bloodseeker at all. You can see that Bloodseeker TPs to that lane, but the only reason he really dies is the cold feet combo with Scepter that he was not expecting. Blinking out first before TPing was definitely the right idea. The farming patterns did not change with the death. He kept making sure that both Ancients were cleared every minute, but only after shoving a wave at the start. Shoving the wave at the start of every minute gives Miracle the ability to farm the safer camps where his allies are first, and as the wave advances, enemy heroes will show, and then he can know whether the other camps are safe too. As you can see, Tinker dies here, showing that a decent amount of heroes are in this spot. Arc Warden and Wraith King are showing here too, giving him the safety to clear the other ancient. As he finishes the manta, he literally repeats the save movements by starting to push top again. Bloodseeker shows mid, Wraith King was top, and Miracle sees this AA blast. Note how he goes for the AA. We saw that he died to the cold feet, right? So instead of jumping the AA with Manta for a quick kill, he actually exposes himself a little bit, but he knows that as long as he saves the Manta, there's actually nothing that can kill him, especially with AA blast on cooldown. As the cold feet is used, he mantas it out, and with vision of the other heroes fighting, Miracle blink TPs. The tower gets denied, but once again he was able to lure the entirety of Dire to one spot and then TPs to the other. That's also very close to the bounty room time, and we see the same movements, but this time, starting from the bottom lane, the lane pushes, and with the vision, it provides Miracle the ability to farm the camps. This is one of the big fights of the game that Miracle actually participates. He was not really that interested in fighting, but an important thing to take away from this clip is that he goes for a super risky play, and I want you to understand why it's actually less risky because of the talent he learned. The Uncontrollable Illusion is a garbage talent. It was super popular back then because the other options were also kinda bad, and because at that time it was a level 15 talent. The cooldown reduction is insane because not only it allows you to get in and out of fights, it also makes you more mobile. It allows you to farm easier too. It's pretty much a 50% cooldown reduction in your blink. Miracle wanted to finish his Vanguard here when he finds pretty much all of the Dire team. Notice that since his blink gets ready super fast, he dares to show up, and the fight starts with Wraith King not being able to ult. He blinks out, and notice how as he walks in again, he has it ready. So what happens is that AM can disengage with blink, but get ready again to fight by foot faster, which means he can disengage again. This is obviously not the only reason the talent is good, but just wanted to really praise this one because a lot of people really forget that there were a lot of changes on Anti-Mage since the Uncontrollable Illusion talent was introduced. In fact, if you check Dota Buff's guide section right now, where only 6k plus AMs are displayed, you will see that 2 out of the 20 Anti-Mages went for the Illusion talent only. When we talk about the level 15 talent, not only the extra cast range allows you to play versus Bloodseeker, it is also great at initiating and disengaging. Heroes that are super mobile like Tinker or Storm, or that play very defensive, hate to play against AM when he has that talent. And here, even without an Abyssal, we can already see Arc Warden regretting his life choices. Miracle keeps on giving with his plays, bounty runes are coming, and he feels as strong as ever. But note that he doesn't blink on top of it. He actually hides here, and when Necro shows up, he almost solo kills him. Even then, thanks to the blink range and cooldown, look how he can blink out of Rupture with no problem, and even if the Bloodseeker tries to chase, he most likely will never touch Anti-Mage because of how mobile he is. Note how the Bloodseeker actually tries to chase, and Miracle just disengages even further. Bloodseeker is still chasing, but it's futile. Miracle is not even that farmed, but this is such a good Anti-Mage game, and as we talked about, in this patch there's a ton of good Anti-Mage games, but everyone just looked away from the hero thinking he was awful. He's probably not a great hero by himself, but in this meta, and with a lot of the super strong lane dominators nerfed, he can actually survive the laning stage and do quite well if you pick it against the right heroes. As of always guys, thanks for watching. Remember that I'm really investing in my casting career this year, and any likes, feedbacks, subs are very important so I can sustain myself. If you want to know what's up in my life, Twitter is a great place to start. If you want to see me cast or play or just help me, you can follow or sub to me on Twitch. I've been actually very active there, and if you want to follow my ESL Hamburg journey, join my Instagram to know what's up with me. Thanks for watching guys, bye.